You just recently got cast in a Christopher Nolan project. And some people are probably familiar with his work. He's a newer director starting to.
He's done okay, right?
Yeah, you may have heard of him.
I really love how you've talked, and it's clear you're a professional. Like you said, any job that comes in, you pull it out, you're going to read it, you're going to treat it with dedication. Do you feel, when it comes to scale of projects, like, do you feel more weight stepping into something like that? Like someone who you do, obviously, I'm assuming someone that you respect as a filmmaker, someone you probably sat there and gone, I can't imagine working with them. And now you're sitting here gearing up for this. Is there like another level of pressure that you're carrying, especially sharing it with cast that, the cast list is incredible?
And then here's the guy from Drake and Josh. Like, what's he doing? Yes, you feel a lot of pressure because you want it to be great, because it's capable of being great. With certain things you're doing, if you're doing a sitcom or something like that, I mean, granted, there have been some brilliant sitcoms, but if you're just making something that's just like a little bit more kind of mindless or what have you, that the ceiling for it to be great is only, it's at a certain level. And even if Pacino, even the greatest actor ever, with the material within the medium, could only make it so good. Yeah. But like with something like a Nolan movie, it can be great, and he's setting you up to be great. So all you have to do is rise to the occasion and be prepared. And you feel those nerves until you get there on the day, and then you realize you're just like, oh, this is just like anything else. It's just the best version of it.
That's a crazy day to walk on set and go, oh, I'm surrounded by greatness, everywhere.
Oh yeah. But the best part is you work with a guy like Cillian. He's like one of our greatest actors. And then he's a gem of a person. You're like, oh, thank God. Like, thank God you're great and nice.
Right.
I've heard some nightmare stories of people who are probably really fantastic who are definitely really fantastic actors, but not super great.
Name them here.
I'd much rather you name them, because we'd get some good viral content out of this. Obviously, you've set really big goals for yourself. You've, like I mentioned, stand up, while most people are worried about what sport am I going to play? You're like pushing into these clubs and doing stand up, going and doing television at 15, making these decisions for yourself, and even still working, trying to get to the next level. But also being content. We hit on being content where you're at, being comfortable with the wins that you've had so far. For you, when you think about success, is there some idealistic place that you're working toward that you would consider like, at that point, I've made it, quote unquote? Or is success for you in the day-to-day of like, I am putting in the work, I am being, confident, I am, doing the best that I can do moving forward?
Timothée Chalamet. No, I remember growing up, he doesn't have to go to auditions anymore, but all through my 20s, like if Miles Teller would walk into an audition, I'd be like, all right, that's it for me. Have a good time, Miles. You're going to kill it. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know if this is a good answer. Like, I don't know what it looks like. I know I'm not there yet. But I don't know what it looks like, but I know I'm not there yet. I wonder, do I want to be a guy in my 60s who's still sitting in an audition room, when I could be hanging out with my grandkids? I don't know. Or maybe I'll be utterly pleased and I'm lucky, right? Most actors get better with age, whereas athletics, there's so many things, I've done a lot of research about physicists because of Oppenheimer as of recently. And, what you learn about the different sort of sciences is that mathematicians tend to do their best work before they're 30. I don't know why that is, but there's a high burnout rate. Whereas physicists tend to do their best work in their 30s, 40s, 50s as they get older. And I interviewed this famous physicist, Dr. Brian Keating, out of UC Davis, UC San Diego. And he said it's because at the heart of what we do, there's this deep curiosity for the way in which God's mind works. So I was like, oh my God. But I think as an actor, as a creative, right? I have this curiosity about me. I'm dying to know how people live their lives, how I can, bring a next an extra level of honesty and reality to the next part, to the next experience. And I feel really lucky. That drives me, because I'm not sure everyone has that level of curiosity about what they do.